Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this call. It is Tuesday, 12 o'clock, and it's the 6th week in our cycle. So today we have all 5 of the coaches on the call. Yes, welcome. It's our privilege to serve you. And we've been in the green room for a little while, just catching up with one another. And we will catch up with you a bit later. But allow me to just introduce the coaches and get the one-liner from each of them, and then we will start the session. But we're still waiting for people to come online. Marius, thank you. I see that you're admitting the people. And so welcome to this call. And to every one of you who are part of our one-year program or have completed it already, a number of you have already completed the first year. Welcome to this call. But those of you who are visitors, you are absolute welcome to this call today. And thank you for visiting us. And we're really here to serve you. And allow me to introduce the coaches. And the first coach that I'll introduce today is the implementation coach. And the implementation coach is known to most of you, hence the fact that it is Tertius Bester. Tertius, our implementation coach, please say hello to the team.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's our privilege to spend some time with you guys again, guys and ladies. Yes, it's all about not just knowing what to do, but actually getting it done. And that's where I try to sharpen your skills through what I share with you guys in the one-year program. And we'll be getting it to a little bit later with Marius as well. But my question to you is, are you still following your plan? Or have you got too much crammed in there? Getting it done is also, when you say yes to one thing, you also got to say no to something else. So that's it from me for today, Donnie.
Oh, thank you, Tertius. We appreciate those words of wisdom. The next coach that we'd like to introduce today is none other than our business coach and esteemed keynote speaker and businessman, none other than Carl Schultz. Carl?
Thank you, Daniel. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many people on the call today. My question for you today is, have you come to terms with the fact that you are even if you're working for somebody, even if you have a job, you're still in business? And we need to come to terms with that fact in our mind, and we need to have a little bit of a mind shift and realize that you are the CEO of your own personal services company. Are you delivering a service in exchange for payment? You're making profit. And the better you run your business, your own personal business, the better it's going to be for you in that. So that's the question. Are you a business person? Have you come to terms with that? Thank you, Daniel.
Cool. Thank you, Carl, our business coach. And yes, yesterday I listened to an international coach, one of his recordings, and he said, remember that cash flow is king. If you want to be in business, cash flow is king. If you want to have a good life as a business person, if you want to be a good parent at home, a good spouse at home, make sure there's cash flow, because cash flow makes all the other things work. So thank you, Carl, our business coach. Then next, I would like to introduce our life coach. And our life coach, I always have to say that I've been through school with him, only for the fact that I've actually attended school some days. But Nico is an esteemed life coach, and this is what he's doing. Nico has been in coaching all his life. And Nico, thank you for what you've built into my life. Yeah. But welcome to Nico Liebenberg, our life coach.
Thanks, Donnie. Always good to connect with every one of you here on this platform, this room. I'm hearing the other coaches asking questions. My question to you would be, are you seizing the moment? Are you grabbing hold of the moment? If everything is in place in terms of your business and you realize that cash is king and you've got enough of that, or even if you just have plans to get more of that and you're implementing what you should be doing with your life, are you in that moment to experience it and to enjoy it? I'm really sensing where I'm at, and I don't think it's an isolated case, that things are turning for the better. Things are having a kind of an upward trend. And now is the time to take hold of the opportunities that are presented to us in this season and to make the most of what we have to enjoy at this current season. So for me, again, just to bring you back to the reality of now, and to live in the moment and to enjoy what's put before you, because one can forever be concerned about what you don't have. But the wise men said one day, they said that, to desire what you have is a huge slot of wisdom. And I agree with them, that if you can just enjoy what you have currently, I think you're already in a good place. So that would be my introduction and some thoughts to think about.
Cool. Thank you, Nico.
Thanks,
We
Don.
appreciate that. And my apology for jumping in there before you were done, Nico. And with Nico mentioning season, yes, there are two seasonings happening at the same time with us, especially those that living in South Africa. We are entering winter, and in Gauteng, we have a good little winter morning today with some rain the past few days, but also a new season in what's happening in our country, because last night our state of disaster was cancelled. And we only have 30 days, and then our state of wearing masks will be cancelled. And what an amazing day that will be. I just don't know why that could not happen yesterday as well. But so, yes, it is a season that we have to take this. And I'm the mindset coach of this program. And I work through Think and Grow Rich with you with some other material as well, but essentially Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon Hill says thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. And if you think thoughts are not powerful, just wait until you have something that's nagging in the back of your mind, something that's niggling when you have to go to bed, something that's bothering you. And you will realize that thoughts are things, and things can take you around the bend and back. And it's important that we realize that. And the thoughts that we have, if we don't take negative thoughts captive and replace them with positive thoughts, we fall into the trap of becoming a negative person. But if we have the ability to take our thoughts captive and replace it with something that will build, something that will help, something that will assist in my day, we can make a huge difference by that small little action. But so, yeah, thank you that I could share a little. My question to you today is, how are you dealing with your thoughts? Are you in line? Are you struggling? Or are you winning? The next coach that I would like to introduce, last but not least, because he's by far the tallest, but last but not least, but Marius Adams is our Waymarker coach. And my apology for suggesting that we call him a Waymarker coach. I see some people don't know what the Waymarker is, because there's actually not a word like that. But if you travel to Cape Town, you'll see every 2 meters, every 200 meters, there's a Waymarker next to the road telling you exactly where you are. And my idea all my life of a goal-setting coach is so much more than goal-setting. And that's why Marius is called our Waymarker coach. Marius, please say hello to the team and start the session for us.
Awesome, Daniel, thank you. You did an immaculate job again of actually starting the session. And I so love the questions of all the people. And you'll see there in the bottom of my name, this says the crypto wealth coach as well, because what I do on a daily basis is that I help and assist people in crypto. But my heart and vision is to get people free from their mindsets, free from their lack of finances, free from their lack of spiritual growth. And that is when we started this program, I told Daniel, listen, I want this portfolio of helping and assisting people on a daily basis to get free. Yeah, one of the waymarkers of this year is we are in the second quarter of this year. And how do I know that? I've got children on school. Yeah, we started with April, with the 1st of April. That's always the day of jokes, but it's actually a day where you must sit and make a list of see where are you in this year. You started January with some goals, hopefully a lot of goals that you want to through this year. And if you have to put that peg in the ground and tell yourself, listen, how far in the second quarter of this year on this waymarker we stand today, of where am I with my goal settings? Where am I with my mindset? Where am I with my life? I'm going to give each coach also a chance to talk about that. But let's just speak around the 7 areas of our lives again, because it all falls in part of our second quarter, and all the coaches also fall in that 7 areas as well. And I'm going to start with the fun part. I always leave the best for last. But did you have some fun the last three months? Did you take your family or yourself on a vacation? Did you just have fun in your house, in and around your house? And your income and your career, I'm just going to put that two together. It is actually two separate parts that we normally on the goal setting. Your spiritual life, your family and your friends, your physical part of your life. When last did you do a checkup on your physical at the doctor? And your mindset, your goal setting on your mindset. Where do you stand? I'm going to start with the implementation coach. And this is just the list that I made here, so don't worry, Tertius, we are not begging you out of starting, but if you can maybe just elaborate around that as well, of your second quarter on the implementation side.
Yeah, thanks, Marius. Looks like most folks are from South Africa, so I can tell you, I don't feel like a millipip, okay? Because the chickens all pick on the millipip. No problem. Yeah, folks, it's, as I said in the beginning, saying yes to one thing means that you're saying no to something else. And often when you're following a program such as this, you feel yourself focusing on one area and not focusing on others. And then you get to the point where you say, I should have done this, I should have done that. And you get into that negative mindset, like Daniël was saying. The thought life, not only in terms of attitude and approach, but your thought life during the implementation. If you need to take more time than what you planned to get something done, then take the time and do it. You can always take another decision and change the plan that you had in place. Because stuff happens, especially, and I'm sure Daniël will concur with me on this one, especially if you don't have enough buffer time. If you've planned your time so tightly that you are full and you don't have sufficient buffer time, that is going to put you in a position where you continually need to reassess where you are and where you're going next. Often with clients, you get to a business and say, what do you want us to address first? What do you want us to tackle first? We got this and that. And I say, okay, of all your problems, what are the top three? What are your top three problems? And out of those top three, let's choose one. And you tackle that one. So let's say I'm going back now and I'm having a look at my fun and my family and my friends. Yeah, the social part of family and friends is in a state of disaster because all my focus has been put onto one thing, one family thing, and has taken out all my other social interaction. Now, I can come to the point and say, okay, now you've gotten yourself into this thing. You've got to get yourself out. I'm supposed to have had coffee with this guy. Here's my plan schedule. You know what? Stop. Just stop. This is where you are. So fine. Reschedule that coffee appointment. Make time to get to that person, which means everything has to move out and change. Don't be too critical on yourself if you find you need to change. Marius, I think for going into the next quarter, we look back. I know some of my physical goals have fallen behind because of what happened in life in the last month or so. But that's okay because I'm sitting down now with my 7 areas. I've gone through that checklist of yours that you've given us in the beginning of the year, and I've started to score myself again on those so that I can put the plan in place for the next 3 months. Yeah, that's just from me in terms of implementing stuff and getting stuff done. Make sure that you have enough buffer time in your planning and don't fill your plate too much. You know, if you can only lift 20 kilograms on a hay fork, it's no use you fill that fork with 40 kilograms because you're going to do maybe 2-3 forks of that and then you're tired, you're spent. If you keep it within its limits and you keep your program that you want to implement within its limits, you're going to be able to survive the course. You're going to get a lot more done at the end of the day. Thanks, Marius.
Awesome, Tertius. Thank you. That was great. Yeah, Jason, I just want to tell you that this elephant at the back, this is just for you, because the previous elephant that I had on here, I Googled it, and 99% of my pictures that I use is physical photos that I took. There's a photo we took last week, and the reason why I most of the time put an elephant at the back is my question is always, how do I eat an elephant? It's hamburger by hamburger. So I can tell you last week with this elephant, that's a lot of hamburgers. But your year is full of hamburgers. Every day, you've got a day that you need to consume, and you need to pursue those goals. And after a year, you are through 365 days. And if you just put that in hamburgers, it's 365 hamburgers. I think that is just a small part of the elephant. But that, I just want to leave you with that before I give over to Carl, our business coach, to tell us his thoughts about the second quarter of the year.
Thank you, Marius. I hope you didn't tell that elephant when you were standing in front of it that you were going to eat it, hamburger by hamburger. I think for me, it's very important as we get to these milestones like our quarterly goals. You've heard me talk about the 25-year plan and a quarter of a year being 1% of 25 years. But as we look back at the first quarter, I think it's important that you spend a little bit of time just to reflect on what you've achieved in the first quarter. So celebrate some of the successes, celebrate some of your wins, and then also, so there's three things you want to look at. You want to look at celebrating the wins. So what have you done that worked, the way you got the successes? Then you want to look, what are some of the things that you've done that haven't worked? So what has flopped? What has totally not worked? What have you missed out on? And then number three, you want to look at follow through. What am I going to follow through on? What are the things that I've started that I need to pursue, that I need to follow up on, that I need to follow through on, that haven't worked for me, or that I need to pick up again from the first quarter. And I think one of the challenges for me also is just to simplify my life, simplify what I'm busy with, simplify what I'm wanting to do. I don't know about you guys, but I can sometimes get bogged down or consumed by the to-dos, all the things that I have to do, all of the, Tertius spoke about it, all of the commitments and the plans and the goals, and eventually you spend most of your life like writing the plan and drawing up the plan and replanning and reassessing and re-goaling and everything. Whereas if you could just simplify a little bit, what are the wins? What worked for me in the last 3 months? Because where did I achieve massive results? This was good. This one thing that I did gave me the rewards in terms of enjoyment. I enjoyed it. It was fulfilling in terms of success, financial success, or a level of achievement and those kind of things. So assessing that, and then what didn't work? What do I need to do less of? What do I need to cut off? What did I try that, I thought that would be something that I was going to be focusing on this year, but in actual fact, things have changed, and I'm throwing that out completely, and I'm sticking to this. And what are some of the things that I need to push a little bit harder on in terms of moving forward now into the next quarter? And I think if we can simplify things, just take a little bit of the pressure off yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself a gap. We sometimes are so hard on ourselves in terms of our failures and what we didn't achieve and our shortcomings, that we forget that maybe that's a sign that means you shouldn't be doing that stuff. It's like not for you. Focus on your strengths, focus on the stuff you enjoy and where you are seeing a reward and you are seeing reaping the harvest of the work that you're putting in, and do more of that stuff. There's certain things in my business that I absolutely love doing, and that I would want to do more of, and I'm focusing on that. And there's certain things where I make a lot more money on other things, and so I enjoy it more. I'm more effective there. I'm making more money in those areas, it'll be stupid to not pursue and go after the stuff that's like really hard and where you're failing or you think you need to, redo and those kind of things. That's my piece of advice.
Cool, thank you. I love what you said there, and I always believe in the KISS principle. Keep it straight and simple. So yeah, our life coach.
Yeah, just want to remark on two things that has already been said and how it sits in me. The first one is something that Tash has mentioned that links to if you've ever read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where Stephen Covey talks about habit number 7, sharpening the saw. You can forever be busy and work very hard and saw down trees. But if you don't take time out every now and then to go and sit and sharpen the saw, you might be working very hard, but you're getting nowhere. And that would mean that you spend time on yourself, honing some abilities and skills, new knowledge that you need to do what you're good at, in any case, doing. That's the one thing. The other thing was something that Carl mentioned. It's a good way of understanding how we go about managing change or adapting to change, or in any way navigating through your territory more efficiently or effectively. Your mindset paradigm, the ability that you have to understand what goes on out there, you can equate with the idea of a map. And a map has always got as its purpose to describe territory for us. So the territory is out there and the map is in here. And I can assure you that you need the right map for the territory to explain it to you so that you can navigate through that territory in an effective way. But if the map is incompatible with the territory, the map doesn't help you anymore because the territory don't necessarily change. If the map can't help you to navigate through the territory, you can have a very good map of Los Angeles. But if you find yourself in Cape Town, even though you've got a very good map of Los Angeles, that map will not help you to navigate through Cape Town. So what we need to do is to adapt the map, to make new inscriptions on the map that you and I had, let's call it pre-COVID, is a very different map that we should have, let's call it post-COVID. Because the territory changed, business changed, the economy's changed, prices hike, people's health changed, so many things changed. So what will serve us better in the coming seasons is to adapt the map and to make new inscriptions of what we find there in the territory so that we can build maps that accurately reflect the territory, so that we can navigate through that territory more efficiently. And I think an openness to adapt, and I think something that can help us there, what I've recently started to experience with the corporates that I work with is that a lot of them I take actually through strategic planning again, visioning the future, building shared vision, dusting off old vision statements, mission statements, and building a new lighthouse for where we would like to go. And I think that's something that is worthwhile spending time on, is to build that lighthouse. I'm talking about constructing and defining clearly for yourself where you would like to take your business, and then to share that vision with people that need to come along with you. And if you can focus in the next seasons on building shared vision. In other words, not just constructing a vision, a lighthouse out there that indicates direction for you. In strategy, 3 things are important: where you are now, where you would like to go, and the path that you take from here to there. And the way you would like to go, which we talk about the desired state, I metaphorically refer to it as the lighthouse that you build that indicates your direction. That is something that I find with the corporates and the leaders that I work, that brings a lot of value to them. To just go and sit down, we usually go for 2 or 3 days away, and we would sit down and we would reconstruct that vision. And then my encouragement is also go and share this vision with the other people that need to help you to achieve this vision. And a vision is not just bound, it's not just limited to having a vision for your business. You can have a vision for your own life, and should have a vision for your own life. You can have a vision statement for your family's life, or wherever you move and live and have your being, to create a vision, to create some kind of inspiration again, because that's the power of vision. It also has a kind of a pulling power that pulls you into future, so that you can enter a future that you have crafted and the future that you would like to enter, and not leave it up to just whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I know we make room for that. I'm not saying it's just one or the other, but the part that I think that you and I contribute to the most is actually taking time out and restructuring, redefining, dusting off, if that makes sense to you. The vision that you have for your life, and the vision that you have for your family, and the vision that you have for your business. I think spending time on that might be a very valuable pursuit for us where we are currently in the season that's beckoning us to embrace it. So just a few thoughts on that, Marius.
Awesome, Nico, thank you. Yes, I spent a whole session in one of my sessions in the 1-year program on vision. And I actually made some notes here because what I did is I actually just spent time on your one vision. What is your one vision in life? But I so loved it that you said you must have a business vision, a family vision, and actually a vision on each area of your life. So thank you for that, Nico. Daniël, please.
Let me just find the unmute button. Thank you, Marius and coaches so far. And yes, I want to add, and I want to go a little more microscopic. I want to go a little smaller than Nico in his vision. But to achieve that vision, I need to go look at the smaller things that will make up that vision, that plan. And the imagination is so powerful in creating that vision, to setting that plan, and to pull you along as an individual, as a person that rallying the team. Maybe you are the team that you're rallying because you're the person doing this. And it's so important. And I'll read you a little extract that I prepared. I don't know what the other coaches were going to talk about, but just hear how perfectly this is aligned with what they talked about. And it's a little part out of Think and Grow Rich, and it's about the subconscious mind, because I said I'm going to go smaller. I'm going to go to something that can open and close doors for you in achieving those goals, those plans, in creating and setting forth those goals and going out to go and achieve. And for the present, it is sufficient if you remember that you are living daily in the midst of all manner of thought impulses, which are reaching your subconscious mind without your knowledge. Some of these impulses are negative, some are positive. You are now engaged in trying to help shut off the flow of negative impulses. Are you successful in that? And to avoid involuntary influence your subconscious mind through positive impulses of desire. So we have to go and work on positive influence of desire. How do you do it? Every person has got their own way of doing it. Some do it through action, some do it through music. I read further. When you achieve this, you will possess the key which unlocks the door to your subconscious mind. Moreover, you will control the door so completely that no undesirable thoughts may influence your subconscious mind, and then that have an influence on your plan. Everything which man creates begins in the form of a thought impulse. That small thought impulse, man can create nothing which it does not first conceive in thought. And I would like to encourage you in building the plan, in setting yourself up for success and not for failure, is to make sure that you spend time with yourself, with your thought patterns, with what is influencing your thought patterns. What's the stuff that you look at? What's the stuff that you go sit in front of the TV and just watch? What's the stuff that you allow to get into, to flow into you? Who are the people that you allow to influence you? Who are the people around you that you allow to help and assist your thought pattern to create all these thoughts, negative or positive? And it's got a bigger influence on our goals and where we're going than we think. And sometimes we forget those small little things. So Marius, I wasn't talking about a mile marker. I was talking about half a meter marker in my process for today. But yes, thank you, coaches, for your contribution, and thank you for allowing me to contribute. Over to you, Marius.
Thank you, Daniel. I made my notes here of each coach, the implementation coach that said you must buffer out some time, business coach that says you must simplify things, our life coach, you have to have a map, you have to have a vision, and our mind coach, your thought impulses. And I actually took a circle around my notes and I just wrote there you, because the whole session, the whole one-year program is about you. It's not about me. It's not about Nico. If I speak to Nico, it's about him. If I speak to Daniel, it's about him. If I speak to Tertius, so everything that we do, it's about you. How can we get you to another level in life, to another level in mindset, to another level in income, to another level in your spiritual life? Coaches, thank you for your inputs. So let's open the floor. I just want to hear from the floor, from the guys that's in the room. And Frederik, you're a bit late on the call, and that is why I did the last session of what all the coaches said, so that you know exactly what we're talking about. And so we are in our second quarter of the year. Let's open the floor and hear from the people in the room.
Yes, thank you, Marius. I have opened the microphone, so any one of you can open, just unmute your mic. And if you want to add, if you want to contribute, if you want to give us some meaning to something that happened meaningful with you through working through this one-year program, or anything you would like to ask, please feel free. Thank you, Marius.
I just want to say something about the maps that we talk about, that you need to have a map and know where you're going. And it goes with your goals as well. So when I was in the military, we did a lot of map work in the field. So you get a map that you work with, and you have your compass, and you orientate your map and yourself, and you set out your points where you need to go to. But when you negotiate or navigate that map, you realize that you are there after a rainy season. So all of a sudden there's long grass, there's big bushes, there's tall trees. So you need to adapt. You need to renegotiate your route, look for the easiest route with the least amount of effort to get there, so that you can get there effectively with everybody that you need to take with you. So for me, what I've learned also is adaptability while you're negotiating the familiar ground is very important.
Cool. Thank you, Billy, for that pull of wisdom there. And that is experience, ladies and gentlemen. And that's experience that Billy is carrying forward, applying into his business life, into his personal life. So thank you, Billy, for sharing that. The mics are open. Any one of you that would like to contribute, ask questions, say, we are here. The coaches are here to help and to serve you. Any particular thing that you would like to ask a question about, and maybe.
Hi, everybody. I have a couple of questions, and also something that I wanted to bring up that I've been thinking a lot on. Let me just deal first with two things, if I have the time, and just cut me short, Daniel, if I'm running on too long, please. I had quite an aha moment the other day working through the first quarter of the course, and my personality is such that I don't like to deal with rejection. But what I've found, that as I've dealt with the course and constantly built myself up with the daily lessons, that I've put myself out there, been rejected, but guess what? I'm okay with that. And I'm loving that. So that's a really, a great thing for me. So that's always been like a snare or something that held me back in my life. So that was a great moment for me. I'm really enjoying that. Now on to a question for everybody, and maybe one for Carl as well. In terms of him, and I think it maybe will come up later, but just wanted to find out what the different coaches or what the different people in the room are working with in terms of CRM, and then specifically for Carl, but again, anyone welcome to answer. I'm looking at pricing models in my business, and that's always also an area that I'm struggling with on price setting, because that's something I'm really looking at right now. So I'm looking for some guidance, some videos, some material, or something I can look at on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Carl, are you going to jump on first there or?
Cool. Yes, thank you, Stephen. So in terms of CRM, I use Kartra as a CRM system, but it's a little bit more than a CRM system because it navigates our membership and login and emails and all that kind of stuff. So as a CRM system, it's not actually ideal. I think when you're looking at CRM, depends. There's a lot of questions to ask. It's like, how many people do you want to manage? What do you want your CRM system to do? And I would recommend that you do something physical to start with, on paper, maybe a Excel spreadsheet or something like that to start with, until you're clear on exactly what you want your CRM to do. And then you start just searching and looking at different kinds of CRM systems and what they offer, because to run a CRM system could be very complicated, and it could really just like take you months and months to. But if you know exactly what you want, then you can go to Xero. Is quite a nice one, which has got quite good support in South Africa, and it's customizable, so you can. That's the only one I've found here. I looked into CRM systems a while back, and a lot of these online CRM systems that are internationally are very difficult and not easy to work with, and very expensive because they're charging dollars and that kind of thing as well. So I didn't find any of those useful. So I think practice on paper first. Know exactly what you want your CRM system to do for you, how many people you're going to be managing with your CRM system, and then simplify it. And then approach someone like Xero and see if they can help you with something like that. The second question you spoke about, what was the second question? Pricing models. So again, pricing models, so if you're brand new to an industry and you have no clue what the pricing is in terms of what you're going to be delivering, I would look at competitors. I would look at what my competitors are charging. I would look at fair value exchange. In other words, what would the client be willing to pay for the service or product that you're offering? Then I would look at what I'm comfortable charging. So oftentimes pricing is a mindset thing as well. And we undervalue ourselves because our mindset's not quite there. So you got to look at that as well and say, what am I comfortable charging? And I would even up that to stretch yourself a little bit. You've got to be realistic with your pricing as well. Oftentimes people, when they put their pricing together, they don't include all of the costs. They don't actually understand the numbers. So you would, for instance, say, let's say let's say I'm hosting an event. We're doing an online event. And I can charge people $100 for the online event. And I think to myself, wow, that's so easy because it's going to cost me nothing. They jump online and they're there. But I don't realize that the cost that goes into that is all of my expenses. It's my salary, my entire overheads of my office. It's my internet, it's my time, it's electricity, it's all of those things. So we don't calculate all of those things into the cost price. And then we think we're making a lot of profit, but in actual fact, we're not. And I've sat with clients many times where we've gone through their pricing and they take the cost price and they say, this is my cost price. We add 30% and that's what we're going to sell for. So we're making a 30% profit. But they don't realize that the cost price includes salaries and wages of everyone working for you, your telecom line, your electricity, your rates and taxes. There's a whole lot of expenses that you need to include into so you take your fixed price, your fixed monthly price, and you need to be able to divide that up and add and contribute from each product needs to contribute to the overheads as well. So that becomes part of your cost price. So when you look at pricing, you got to really know your numbers, be realistic on that. Look at your total expenses, divide it into whatever you need to, amount of products sold or amount of time spent. If you're delivering a service, are you delivering a service or a product? It's a physical product.
Physical product, yeah.
So you got to look at your capacity in terms of the product and the pricing in terms of everything that goes into. So there's fixed price and then there's your variable pricing. Fixed prices is the stuff you have to pay every month, whether you sell 1 or 100. You've still got to pay that money out every month. And then you've got to look at your variable costs. So how much per unit and those kind of things. And you got to find a balance between that and make sure that you're making money. You got to make money in your pricing as well. And you don't want to outprice yourself. Yeah, we could go on forever, but I think, does that help?
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you.
Thank you, Carl. It seems like the two of you will have to take this session away from the school and have some coffee at some point. And but don't tell me, Stephen, that you don't have a CRM. Have you ever heard of the little black book? Because every CRM starts this way. And until you have enough information to know what you actually need, that will be your CRM. So thank you, Carl, for those wise words. And thank you, Stephen, for your question. Any more interaction from someone? Our time is running. Someone else that would like to ask a question, say something. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm then going to say thank you very much for being on this call. This is what we do in the one-year program, helping and assisting you to have focus, to have clarity, and to know where you're going, and to make sure that you come to that conclusion, to that end, to that perfect desire, and being a complete human being, and not have lost something of yourself or your family along the way. And thank you, coaches. Thank you, Nico, our life coach. Thank you, Carl, our business coach. Thank you, Tertius, our implementation coach. Thank you, Marius, our Waymarker coach. Thank you, guys, girls, for being on the school. We cannot do it without you. And please go talk about what you learned. Please go talk to family and friends about the value that you get from this little fee out of this one-year program. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. God bless you all. Bye-bye.